there's growing pains of pickleball, of governing bodies, of how equipment is passed or failed. And at that time, it was not what it is now. A whole committee. It was more, a person doing a job and trying to understand, like, oh, is this going to be illegal or not? So that's why.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil. Today's an interesting topic. The PPA is going to be having in Sacramento, California, commemorative nod to wood paddle play. So all the pros are going to be playing this tournament with wood paddles, and that's how the game started playing.
Yeah.
Right? And they've evolved. So Neil is going to go over some of the evolution of these paddles, where they came from, how they started, and what they've been made out of. And you're going to use some of your Pro Lite paddles to show people. And then we're going to
some of the old.
We're going to start with the swinger.
Yeah, the swinger.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is as you can see, it's got a nice grip. This isn't a stock grip. Underneath is the wood handle, but you can see it has a longer handle. That's how now it's popular, but that's how they were making wood paddles back in the day.
And if you play gym class,
oh yeah, this is what we had.
Yes, you play with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a pickleball inked paddle, Seattle, Washington. Here's their logo. More of a tapered teardrop type of shape. But when you play with wood paddles, it's significantly quieter. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The pitch is lower. Everything, and there's actually a lot of reaction off of this paddle when you play with it. The the downside is, it's usually 11 to 13 ounces.
Heavy.
So pretty heavy, but kind of feels good with a grip on,
So,
I mean, I think it's cool that they're going back to the roots of pickleball, just to
embrace and then you can really see how good they are. I mean, that's hard to control the ball with this.
How heavy that is.
It's really heavy, and I would get exhausted after a little while.
I mean, your wrists, your forearms have to be ready to go for something like this.
So, do you know what kind of wood this is? Balsam?
What?
Isn't that a wood?
Balsam?
Some.
Is it balsam? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's... I actually don't know right offhand. I know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I think it's like a maple of...
Let's go with maple.
Maple sound good? I apologize.
My drum kit used to be made of maple. All right. Really? Yeah, it's a nice quality.
No, it's very solid. These did not break, so I can tell you that right now. They did not break very often at all. And you think about paddles nowadays, there's a lot of breakage.
In different areas for different reasons, yeah.
Right. So when I've played with this paddle, though, there's still touch to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not like it's just ricocheting and you have no feel or touch. There is... that's still in the game when you play with a wood paddle. It's just that weight was always that detractor,
Okay.
And so that later evolved back in the mid 80s, 1984.
Yeah.
Something like this. Now, it's the traditional build. It's a flat paddle. You can see the side, and you can see the little cells on the side. So when I say cells, they're honeycomb cores, just like what you see a lot of right now. I mean, honeycomb cores still are like the main type of paddles out there, whether it's thermoformed or not. There's foam being implemented into the structure now. This is more of that traditional build, edge guard, flat panel, which is airline floor panels, believe it or not.
What are they?
Airline, like planes, airline floor panels. So, you're walking across the aisle. Underneath, they would put airline floor panels. That's what these are.
Are you kidding?
No. So Boeing, back in Seattle, Boeing.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting.
So take a look at this. So you see the black, that's actually a graphite. You see the core on the side, that's Nomex core, which was really, really
So it's one form piece.
Yeah, in one form cut. And you can manipulate the cut into something like this.
And what's the centimeters on this?
This is...
like 10?
10 millimeters.
Okay.
Before it was like more like...
a millimeter.
Yeah. Millimeters started to be used not that long ago, actually.
So very thin.
Right. Thin. You get a lot of reaction, more power, but it's lightweight. It's much lighter than wood, and that was really what...
Oh, for sure.
What Pro Lite was going for.
And what is...
ultralight paddle company.
And what is the composite of this, or the makeup of it?
The top part?
Like the whole piece.
So this is a graphite facing, or skins, they would say skins, and then in between is that Nomex core. And
that's it?
Right. And graphite... And
what's the core made out of?
It's Nomex. So imagine like... It's a type of structure that's kind of like... Some people say aramid cores. I don't want to call it cardboard because sometimes people have said, oh, it's like a cardboard core. It's really not. It's much stronger than that, but it has that material feel.
Would
like
these paddles generally last longer than the new ones today?
That's such a good question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes
Okay.
because I've seen these paddles last much longer. You know, people thought, well, it's just a flat panel and then the handle end cap, grip, and an edge guard, but they're lasting longer. Now they might not have that the physical attributes of like the performance, you know, more power. Power is big right now. No, this is going to last a long time, but it's going to have very good control and feel.
And no texture, just straightforward.
Yeah, this one doesn't. That was inked over the graphite. But
then where do we go to?
Like this one, that's fiberglass. And if you look really closely, I'm going to just bring it up to the, you see those little honeycombs?
Yeah.
Those are the cells. Those are what's called cells. Honeycomb these days are much, much larger than what I just showed you. These are like 1/8 of an inch. Tiny. And what that means is it's really dense, very strong. And to be honest, it's going to last a really long time.
And again, the millimeters stayed kind of the same width.
For a while, yeah. I mean, it wasn't until, gosh,
late 2000s maybe.
2000, I want to say 10, where half-inch became a
bigger deal.
Big deal, you know, 13 millimeters or half-inch. But the biggest thing, I mean, you look at the quality of this, that density is important. And they're all uniform if you look at it. They're not all over the place. Now, when you have manufacturing overseas, not saying there's not good factories over there. What I'm saying is there's inconsistency in the cells. Some are one shape, some are kind of smushed. Yeah, that's actually a big term that we use in development and technology. Yeah, smush.
That's cute.
SCHM. Smushed. No, but the quality and the consistency of the make is extremely important. Now, like I said, you know, aerospace, airline, floor panels, they have to be good. You're flying. You know, I mean, I know that sounds goofy to say, but there has to be quality control, big time for.
Is this graphite too? You said that's
no. This is fiberglass.
That's fiberglass.
This is a composite fiberglass. Yeah, it's
durable.
Very durable. This would be more of that power paddle. It has these panels have higher pitches though.
I see.
So like if you bounce a ball off of some of today's paddles, it's going to be a lower pitch.
But the higher the pitch, is it more poppy off the paddle?
It really comes down to the material and what's making it pop. And then thinner paddles typically have more of a louder pop. So there's more absorption of the ball, the sound, everything with thicker paddles typically. But then what if you had, you know, aluminum on the top or a fiberglass? It's going to be more of a plinkier sound. Usually when it's thicker, it's going to absorb more of that sound. Yeah, and what's cool is when you look at these paddles from back in the day, notice the long handles. Look at even the wood. What's popular right now?
Two-handed backhands.
Two-handed backhands, long handles. Well, back then, especially when these paddles were out, people were talking about, oh, it's too small. The face is too small. I'm missing it. And people were complaining about the shape of the paddle. So that's when some oversized paddles, look at this one. It's an old Pro Lite Magnum.
It is different in size. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then, you know, you start thinking about, well, who's coming to the game? Was it tennis players or was there some table tennis or racquetball? It's the 80s. Racquetball was kind of king back then.
Right.
A big face, small handle. So things started evolving and changing. And there was a point where if it wasn't the oversized paddle, it really didn't sell too well.
Well, that's just like tennis when it came out with the oversized.
Well, like 110s and 90s.
Yes, and tennis rackets, that killed it. There was a shift. And then it was really hard to go back to playing with a standard size tennis racket once you tasted that sweet spot that got bigger. And that one would have a bigger sweet spot, right?
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, you could do this or this.
Yeah.
It really is up to the player. But yeah, I mean, it started evolving and now we've kind of gone backwards back to appreciating the longer handle and that flexibility, you know, at impact and that torque and everything.
What's this one made out of?
That's graphite.
That's graphite. So tennis was getting into graphite. And then when did Kevlar come out?
Kevlar was more, gosh, when did it first come out? It was definitely it's pretty recent. It was probably less than 10 years ago.
And then you started weaving graphite with carbon.
Oh, there's all sorts of things that you were doing. Yeah, the carbon weaves and the twills that you can manipulate with different manufacturers and you know, suppliers. You can definitely have some fun with that and test how it reacts with the ball. When Pro Lite came out in, I think it was 2015 with the Black Diamond series, that was more of a woven carbon fiber. And actually, it had a thick skin. So when I was talking about skins or the facing, you know, imagine that sandwich, right? The core is the peanut butter and jelly. The facing or the skins are the bread, right? That's how I like to look at it. That's good. So, I mean, you can have different skin thicknesses too. Oh. Like the common was usually 14 thousandths or even less than that, sometimes 10 thousandths. 10 thousandths was you didn't really have very good power. So I do recall that we came out with a paddle that utilized the 10 thousandths because it's super light. People enjoyed lightweight. And then we'd add like a polycarbonate vinyl almost over the top, like an adhesive. I don't say decal or anything like that because different types of polycarbonates and adhesives can be thicker too, and with some aggressive texture. It was a lot of fun to thicken up that skin off of the 10,000, manipulate that. The Black Diamond series had a 19 thousandths thick. You have that. It's almost double. It's almost double. You have the woven carbon fiber doing the job, acting almost like strings. And when it would wear down over time, it actually didn't really wear down. I don't like to say that. It would fray. Okay. Like the little hairs. You could see it? If you looked at it under the microscope, okay, like I would do, yeah, you could see the little hairs sticking up. So imagine that type of grab that it would have with the ball. When did the texture start getting like more evolved? More evolved? Like more evolved. Like in the sense that like today they try to push the envelope to get as much texture on the paddle as possible without being denied approval. Well, just to go back real quick on that Black Diamond series, it had a thicker skin, but the feeling was very smooth. There was a lot. Don't be distracted by that because the hairs would actually have that grab and act just like a rougher surface. So it was pretty neat. And the thicker the skin, the more control and feel that you would have at impact. So it had more dwell time. Actually, many pros that were using the Black Diamond series said, this feels like tennis strings. And they were tennis players, so they really appreciated that. Yeah. And then you had different shapes that favored maybe a longer handle to in a backhand, or players that maybe came from table tennis and wanted a shorter handle where they could have that finger creep up onto the face of the paddle. As far as the roughness and the textures kind of evolving, it really started happening with the peel ply facings. Basically, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You got this sticker or cover and you take it off and it would have this rougher texture on the face of the paddle. It's usually fiberglass at that time. And that's kind of how it evolved. I know we had many paddles that utilized that. One, we had it banned. You did? Banned. You got denied. We got denied. But that's, that's part of it. Yeah. Trial and error. If that was put into getting passed now, it would pass with flying colors. Just at that time, the guidelines were not as evolved as they are now. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of walking around. That's right. You can probably see. Yeah. But that's just how, there's growing pains of pickleball, of governing bodies, of how equipment is passed or failed. And at that time, it was not what it is now. A whole committee. It was more a person doing a job and trying to understand like, oh, is this going to be illegal or not? So that's why that was banned. But yeah, there's a lot of rougher paddles than that out there. And it's like, where does it stop? Yeah. Because right now it's crazy. I can go to Dick's Sporting Goods or whatever, or a chain and feel some paddle. I'm like, wow, that is way rougher than other paddles. How is that even deemed, okay? Yeah. But then you think about paddles, that you're using over and over and over that might have that rough surface. Well, at some point, if you hit the ball at the same time or the same place over and over and over, it's probably going to wear down that area, sure, right? And it's going to become smoother. It's not like the company failing or anything. It's just you're hitting the sweet spot over and over. That's the law of science right now, like a baseball bat. It's going to wear down and become smooth in that area at some point, right? Do you believe in the eraser? Yeah. Do you like that eraser that's supposed to clean your paddle, and then does it take away the surface? I don't either. One. I kind of like the gunk. The gunk. I think it has some shtick. We're just adding a lot of SCH to our words. I like that. I like the residue that's left from playing. I mean, I think it has some value to playing, actually. I think it has some spin capabilities. Wow. Yeah. Does the eraser eventually wear down the texture too? I think it would. I don't know. It's definitely getting off some of the marks. I mean, it makes it look clean again, but I think it's also taking some of the roughness off of it. Yeah. There's one of my paddles, this carbon, that's foam core. Do they still have the honeycomb in there? This does not. So there's no honeycomb in that? There's no, there's so no honeycomb. So a foam core is just a strict... Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different types of foams too. I think this is more of that EVA foam, but there's different types. So foam's been around for a while too, by the way. a long time ago, there was a paddle company called, I think it was A-Pike, and they had a paddle that had a foam core, but it was soft. You could feel there was a little flex, and it was basically like a trampoline. Like
Okay.
it was scary
Yeah, Yola came out with that too. That got banned.
Yeah, it wasn't as evolved, but companies were starting to mess around a little bit with foam. Foam's very easy to get a hold of in overseas in China, so I'm sure that's what's going on. But then how do you manipulate it? So I think these paddles have holes, within the foam to probably lighten it up. I don't know exactly why they're doing that. I mean, you can read some of the terms that they're using or, saying what it does to the ball, but foam's going to have a power behind it. It's definitely going to have some power behind it. But then what are they using here? This looks like carbon fiber. So carbon fiber along with foam, you got the power aspect, you got the control aspect. They're trying to do really everything. And then you got the shape. Don't forget about the shape. Shape has a lot to do with it too. Is it head weighted or is it more top heavy? Swing weight. All those numbers and factors. At the end of the day, this is what I'll say. At the end of the day, how does it feel in your hand? Does it complement your background?
Yes.
You're a tennis player back in the day?
Yes.
Does it complement you?
Yes. And you guys were pretty much pioneering shapes.
Yes. Yeah, we were doing
the
all.
Cipher, like a big. You were
Cipher
doing elongated and.
The Cipher was this massive blade. They called it blade. That term, I don't know where that originated, but basically that was elongated. Now they say elongated is more along with the longer handle and the face.
This is a hybrid.
Hybrid's another
Yeah.
keyword that,
they kind of
right.
mix up both with
a longer handle with that rounded shape. So when you have a rounded top, it usually elongates the sweet spot. So that's,
I see.
The Cipher was definitely for the racquetball, the squash players. It was this long, thin teardrop with a very short handle, so you could put that finger up on the face, and it sold very, very well. It was different. I've always been big into differentiation,
That's cool.
authenticity, but it fit a type of player that's coming from a different sport. And yeah, I mean, there's been so many different shapes. The Impact was another paddle back in the day where it was, you could call it people called it a hybrid actually back then. And it was about a 4 3/4 inch handle, teardrop, rounded. A lot of racquetball players again liked it, and so forth.
Well, I even feel the difference in the 8 years I've been playing and how they feel different in your hand. Like the weight, the face, the comfort of how it moves through the air.
Sure. Yeah. Does it flow
more aerodynamic, like they cut a little bit more of
tapered. They tapered the neck. That's very common amongst a lot of paddles, ring of the neck.
What do you, I mean, like, I'm surprised that, you have the edge guard and then you have the no edge guard face, like Selkirk does, like most of their paddles without an edge guard. Do you find a benefit or a detriment?
That's a great question. No, it's really up to the person. It's a preference thing. I like an edge guard because it protects the structure, that integrity of the innards.
The innards.
The innards of the paddle and the core and everything. Plus I came from a little bit of tennis, so I liked head weight. So I don't know if you remember PWS, I think it was Wilson, or perimeter weighted system, right? Do you remember that, hearing those words? Well, the edge guard adds perimeter weighting around the paddle, and it, again, creates some head weight. So I've always liked that, and then, put some edge tape over the top and just protect it. I still use a paddle that has an edge guard. I've used both, with the edgeless paddles. Depending on how it's built inside, there are paddles out there like, the K2 paddle, for instance, that has an inner frame within it. So that adds the weight around the perimeter. That's neat. But you also want to put some edge tape, protect it, because you're going to hit the ground. You're going to dig out balls from time to time. And that's just normal. Right now I use a paddle that has more head weight. I put little weights and then I put the edge tape.
Mine has weights.
It's probably about 8.5 or so.
What do you do, or what do you recommend? A lot of times the edge guard, I struggled with this before with so many paddles. The edge guard starts popping off of the paddle, and I used to put super glue.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
No, you put a bunch of duct tape.
Yeah, right.
Duct tape solves everything.
I know it does. I'm agreeing with you on that. But it's just like, can people just put a glue under there? I mean, what would you do? Because you don't want to get a new paddle when you know that everything else is okay.
Depending on how bad it is.
Well, sure.
If it's super bad, then you might want to contact
the manufacturer.
Yeah. If it's a little bit, I'm going to name drop a brand here, but I know Gorilla Glue, not like regular Gorilla, but it's called Gorilla Glue White Pen or White Glue Pen. That really works well, and it's small. It has this little thin nozzle. You can fit it underneath.
Oh, that's great. That's a great thing.
You need very little. And what it does is it kind of foams outward a little bit. You know, let it do its job. Don't wipe it up too early. Let it do its job. It kind of foams and gets a little, how do I describe it? Foamy.
Rusty.
Yeah. And it pops, like when it gets hardened, you can pop it right off. And,
Oh, that's
and
a
it's
great
pretty
advice.
clean.
Yeah.
And it holds. It's like a flexible.
Okay.
It works really well.
Okay, because I noticed that all my paddles do it. It's just a matter of when.
Because you're throwing it. You said you used to throw paddles into the net.
I still do.
What?
Because that's a release.
Find a new release.
I guess I'm really difficult. I'm really, really hard on paddles, no question.
Yeah.
But I like that like this is, to me, this is just coming right off. So I would have to try that little glue.
Yeah, I mean that's not a little bit maybe. But.
Yeah, but people experience that, so that's a good fix. Because I love the paddle and I want to keep using it. You
have to pay attention to that. Like, you know, it clearly has an edge guard.
Yep.
These paddles have an edge guard. What type of adhesive are companies using to adhere it? Because this is its own chemistry right here. This is its own material. Does it communicate, collaborate well?
Yes.
Cooperate with the other materials
of
the paddle? Like, you know, this is graphite, this is Nomex core. Will the glue adhere properly to Nomex or the facing of the paddle or not? So that's what companies have to face and get this.
Do you guys do, when you've been working with paddles for so long and designing them and manufacturing them, do you have like a test run that you and
do your homework?
And and use them, and then you see how they respond after
100%.
time?
Yep, you got to do your homework. That's something. Yeah, I'm thinking of my dad just saying, Neil, do your homework. And he just meant research, do your studies first before you make a split second impulsive decision. And I'll be honest, there are some, we're all probably guilty of this, but there are some companies that probably went to town really, really quickly because they want to get a piece of this pickleball action and didn't do their homework with quality control. Does it last over time, or are we just going to put warranties for 3 months, 6 months and say, oh, we'll replace it if anything, if you have a problem with it because it costs so little.
Yeah.
Some of the brands, some of the paddles. Or do we stand behind our product, you know, and put a 1 year warranty or put a whatever warrant, lifetime, whatever it may be, you know?
Yeah.
Lifetime, you got to read the fine print though, too. Lifetime.
Yeah. Wow. I have to.
There's so much going on.
There is. Yeah. And it's fun to experiment, I guess, with all the new stuff. I just think that you are just a wealth of information on this. And it's fascinating to see throughout the course of the years of it being developed.
Yeah.
And what's next?
It's
what's coming next? It'll
certainly
be
fun. I get kind of that kid in the candy store eyeballs and mentality behind it. I love testing stuff. You know, I've tested so much. Titanium cores even, which was really funny actually. I'll tell you real quick. A titanium core with carbon fiber. I thought, oh, this is cool. Titanium, that was big in golf. Let's see what's going on. At least this product. I tested it. It was kind of lightweight, looked good. And I get out there and every ball that hit the paddle, almost just dropped down.
Weird.
It absorbed everything. I mean, I had to swing so hard to get the ball over there.
Well, that's not what you want to use.
I was not expecting that. And I was like, nope.
Denied.
Yeah, can't do that. But right now we're in that world of foams being used right now, whether it's with honeycomb cores of polypropylene or polymers. We've seen paddles come back with some more Nomex all of a sudden, or Aramid. You've seen a company come with mixing the two, you know, with sandwich between, I think it was Nomex polymer in the middle, all honeycomb cores. So there's so much going on. I think right now the foam is fairly popular, but I guarantee it won't be.
Right. They'll come out with something else.
There'll be more and more and more. Tons of materials. Just think about how many materials
I know,
are out there
it's fascinating.
that we don't know how the ball reacts. So as you can see, I'm getting a little excited just thinking about that. Hasn't been done.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It keeps it interesting and it evolves your game too.
Yeah.
Well, that was a schooling for me. So I love that you know so much about this, and it is interesting. I mean, it's part of our sport and like what's next. So, well, thank you.
Everyone wants what's next. What's new?
I know.
What do you got new?
I know.
I've heard that one.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Every time I was at the court.
Huh?
Hey Neil, what's new? Oh no, family's good. No. What's new? What's new with the equipment? What you got? You got anything to test?
Yep. And there's always people that are always on to the next shiny ball syndrome.
Oh my gosh.
So, but it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years.
And I get attached to paddles, so I don't have that shininess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Old trusty.
Yeah, old trusty. Thank you for sharing all that. That's really.
Oh, you got it.
It's informative. Fun. I know that's where your wheelhouse is for sure.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Good job, Neil. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Fun playing.
If you learned something or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it.
Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.